Story Corner, presented by Jennifer. Valkrist, Book 2, Valkrist's Flight, Chapter 2. Okay, feel free to check out the other videos on Valkrist books. And if you haven't already seen the previous video for Valkrist's Flight, I suggest you view it now, as this is a continuation of that story. Emma didn't mind mucking out the stables. It was smelly work, but the horses needed fresh straw in their stalls or they'd get sick. What Emma did mind was being accused of something she hadn't done. She worked out her anger by attacking the soiled straw, using her pitchfork to heave it into a wheelbarrow. Emma tried to block out Uncle Morgan's words, but they trickled into her brain anyway. Yes, it was terrible news that Dowager was pregnant, but that wasn't her fault. Emma's father had trusted her. If he were still alive, Emma leaned on the fork's handle, blinking back tears. She wiped her cheek and glanced down the barn aisle to see if Brian, the ranch hand, had noticed. Brian was busy working oil into a saddle. He glanced up and gave Emma a friendly wink. Emma ducked her head, too upset to return Brian's greeting. More than anything, she wished her mother was there. Her mother had been able to explain how to handle unfair situations. With her parents gone, Emma felt like she didn't have a single person in the world who understood her completely. Tearing up again, Emma scooped the straw with her pitchfork roughly, frustrated that she let herself think about things better left alone. "Hello," a young girl's voice called. Emma turned around. In a sunbeam stood a pretty petite girl about her age. She gave Emma a friendly wave, and Emma leaned her pitchfork against the side of the stall. The girl walked into the stables, and Emma saw that she was dressed in a formal riding outfit. She was wearing a black cap with a dangling chin strip and fitted black jacket. Her tall dress boots were shiny black, and her riding breeches were bright white. Emma glanced down at her own outfit. Her bibbed overalls and muck-covered boots suddenly seemed grimy. As the girl passed Dowager's stall, she patted the black thoroughbred on the nose. "Miss Bridget says you've been naughty," the girl told Dowager fondly. Dowager nickered in reply. Emma stood straighter, assuming this girl was related to Miss Bridget somehow, preparing herself to answer questions about Dowager's pregnancy. But the girl reached out her hand for Emma to shake. "I'm Sarah," she said, smiling. Are these horses? All these horses look so happy. You must be taking wonderful care of them. Thank you for all of your hard work." Surprised, Emma returned Sarah's smile. "Thanks," she said. "It's more fun than work, really." "I can tell," Sarah replied. "It must be wonderful to work around horses all day. Aren't they the most amazing creatures?" "They are," Emma answered. She pointed up at her loft. "I'm here at night, too. That's my room up there." Sarah clapped her hands. "It sounds like a perfect life," she said. "Being with horses all the time, even sleeping near them. Your friends must be so jealous. It's like a dream situation." Emma's smile faltered. She picked up her pitchfork and shuffled the straw around the stall. Biting her lips so she wouldn't burst into tears, Emma wished she saw her life as Sarah had described it. Sarah was the first girl her own age she'd spoken to since school let out for the summer, and her happy chatter reminded Emma of how lonely she'd been. None of the girls at school were interested in horses anyways. Although Emma loved being with the horses, her life seemed so far away from being a dream situation that it was painful to think about. Sarah seemed kind, but she didn't know the sad truth. Emma's life would never be perfect again. Now that her parents... A tear fell from Emma's eye and landed in the dirty straw. She glanced over at Sarah to see if she had noticed. Sarah wasn't there. Emma peered around, wondering how Sarah had disappeared so quickly. The only person she saw was Brian, hanging up the saddle in the storage area. It had been great talking with someone who obviously loved horses as much as she did. Someone her own age, who seemed cool and kind. Emma hoped that Sarah would return soon. The next morning, when Emma arrived at the stables after breakfast at the house, she was pleased to find Sarah in Firelight's stall, brushing the young gray mare. Sarah was dressed more casually, in a blue rodeo skirt and beaded shirt, with orange western boots and a white 10-gallon hat. Her outfit looked like an expensive costume, but at least it was a ranch costume and not an English equestrian one. "Good morning," Emma called. "You're here bright and early." Sarah smiled. "I got the feeling that Firelight needed some extra TLC," she replied. "Not that you don't take great care of her, but she seems lonely." Firelight looked thrilled by Sarah's grooming. The horse rubbed her muzzle against Sarah's arm. "Yeah," Emma said. "She had kind of a special bond with my mom." Sarah lowered the brush. "Oh, yes," she said softly. "I heard about the accident. No wonder Firelight's sad." Then, sensing Emma's discomfort, she pulled off her hat, revealing braids just like Emma's. "Can we take a break from work today?" Sarah asked. "I've got a secret place to show you." Emma's morning chores had been completed before breakfast. "Sure," she replied. Keeping up a steady stream of chatter, Sarah led Emma to the far edge of the Daymare Ranch, past Weeping Willow Lake. Beyond the ranch was an overgrown forest that Emma had barely explored. The forest seemed spooky, but Sarah followed a trail without hesitation. She peppered Emma with questions about her favorite things while they walked. As they chatted, Emma wondered to herself where Sarah had come from and what brought her to Miss Bridget's ranch. There was something unusual, something different about her. Definitely. But Sarah's questions came so fast that Emma didn't have a chance to get in any of her own. "It's just up ahead now," Sarah said, pointing at a chain-link fence. Whatever had been on the other side was now overgrown with small trees. Emma could make out random concrete buildings poking out of the wild shrubs. Sarah ducked through a hole in the fence, and Emma followed. They took a deer path into the overgrown field until they reached a tall concrete structure. Sarah cleared brush out of the doorway, and they climbed stairs to an enclosed box perched on top. The box was clean, except for weeds growing in the center. It had a wide window, and Emma used it to peer out over the rough field below. "Do you know what this was?" Sarah asked. Emma shook her head. "An old country club?" "Nope," Sarah replied. "It was a horse racing track until they built the bigger one. We're in the announcer's box now, where the race caller sat. I come here when I need some alone time." "Wow," Emma said. Now that Sarah had explained, Emma could make out the faded oval track almost hidden by weeds. "Picture how it used to be," Sarah said dreamily. "Can you see the horses? All the trainers and jockeys and the fans? I love imagining how it was." Emma squinted at the field. For a moment, she could hear the roar of the crowd and the thundering of the horses' hooves as they galloped around the track. She could almost see those horses, their sides heaving with the exhilaration of the race. "It's amazing," Emma whispered. She smiled at Sarah, and Sarah grinned back, both delighted to be sharing the secret echoes of those phantom horses. That afternoon, when they got back to Daymere Ranch, Emma wanted to share something with Sarah. "Would you like to meet Mischief?" "Your Shetland," Sarah replied. "Of course." Emma led Sarah over to Mischief's stall. The golden coat and white mane and tail of the Palomino Shetland looked glossy, since Emma had rubbed him down with a towel that morning. Emma smiled fondly at her pony, her heart softening as it always did when she saw his small, sturdy body. "Hi, Mischief," Sarah said, and the pony made a blow sound through his nose. Reaching over the gate to ruffle Mischief's mane, Sarah noticed his gold hoop earring, and she touched it gently with her finger. "Cute," she said. "He had that earring when we got him," Emma explained. "We couldn't remove it without hurting him, but I love it. My father guessed he was rescued from a circus." "Or a pirate." Sarah and Emma giggled. Then Sarah spotted a piece of paper tacked to Mischief's stall. "What's that?" Emma blushed. "Oh, that's a poem," she answered, torn between wanting to hide it or share it with her new friend. "I wrote it. You can read it, but it's not done yet." "With wings I can fly," Sarah read. "Good title." She read the poem to herself, nodding and smiling. Emma waited for Sarah to finish, feeling embarrassed by how much she wanted Sarah to like it. Sarah stood up straight and met Emma's eyes. "It's wonderful," Sarah told her. "Really, you should finish it." "I will," Emma promised, grinning, "as soon as I can think of the perfect ending."